So we have seen what an addressing mode is, what are the different types of addressing modes, and what an instruction set is. So now we are going to see certain notations that will be helpful in the addressing modes. So the instruction format, it contains the opcode field and the instruction field. So now in the instruction field, if we have this notation A, then it means that it contains the contents present in that address field, and R represents the contents in that address field. It refers to a register, and EA represents, it is the actual address or the effective address. So that means the operand may be present in any memory location or the register. So we want to calculate that address. So this effective address or the actual address gives the location which actually contains the operand. And the next one is the X within the parenthesis. So this X refers to a memory location or to a register, and when it is represented within the parenthesis, it means that the contents of that memory location or contents of that register. So these are the notations that we are going to use in representing the addressing modes and the effective address. The first addressing mode is the immediate addressing mode. So the immediate addressing mode is a very simple addressing mode, and it is very fast, and the advantage of this immediate addressing mode is that there is no memory reference or no reference to register or anything to fetch the data. So because the operand is given in the instruction itself, so that is, operand is part of the instruction. So we can see here in this figure, the instruction contains the opcode and the operand. So in the example given, add 5. So add is the opcode, that is what operation we have to do, and 5 is the data that we are going to use. So this instruction tells that add 5 to the contents of the accumulator. So here that operand is given in the instruction itself. So this kind of addressing mode will be helpful for referring to a limited range of data. So this is the simplest addressing mode, and this is the first one we are discussing. The second addressing mode that we are going to discuss is direct addressing mode. So from the name itself, we can understand that the operand is present in a memory location, and that memory location has an address, and that address itself is given in the address field of the instruction. So you can see in the figure that we have an opcode and address A. So this address is actually the address of a memory location where the operand is present. So here the effective address is that the address field itself. So in the below figure, you can see that there is an instruction called load A 2805H. So the memory address is given in a hexadecimal notation, and the memory location 2805 is having a data value or the operand value 5C. So now this value has to be loaded into the accumulator. So the address present in the instruction is accessed, and that particular data is taken and loaded into the accumulator. So the effective address here, it is equal to the address field A present in the instruction. So here there is a single memory reference to access the data. The address that is given, that can be accessed immediately, directly, and get the data. So there is no need of any additional calculations to work out the effective address. But the limitation is that it can accommodate only a limited address space. So this is the disadvantage of direct addressing. So to overcome that, we'll go to the next addressing mode. The next addressing mode is the indirect addressing mode. So indirect addressing mode means, in the instruction we have been given an address. So this address, when we go and look into this particular address in the main memory, there is another address, or we can call it as pointer. Okay, there is another address. When we look into that particular address, we will be able to fetch the actual operand. So in direct addressing, we see that the address that is present here, that is containing the operand, but here the address present in the instruction, that contains another address. So when we look into that particular address, we will be getting the operand. So here the effective address is that effective address is equal to A that is present inside the parenthesis. So that means look in A, find the address of A, and there you can find the operand. Okay, so add A inside the parenthesis. That means, so you look into the address A, where you will find another address, there you can find the content of this operand. So the advantage of this indirect addressing mode is that since in the main memory we have a very large number of memory locations, any range can be pointed out by this indirect addressing mode, and even this can be used as a nested or multi-level or cascaded level, something like this. And so multiple but the one disadvantage is that many memory accesses has to be done. Now even in this case, even when only one parenthesis is used, we can see here we need to access the memory twice. So first one address is accessed at this point, and the next address is accessed at this point. So two memory accesses to find the operand. So when it becomes nested or multi-level or cascaded, the number of memory accesses that we have to do will become more. The next addressing mode is register addressing. So register addressing mode is little bit similar to your direct addressing, but the thing here is, in the instruction field, in the instruction, the address field contains a register name or the register's address. So we have seen in the previous earlier we have studied that the processor has many registers like program counter or MAR, MBR, something like that. So any one of the register may be mentioned here, or its address will be present in this instruction. So by looking into that register, we will be able to get the operand. Here the effective address is equivalent to the R, that is the register address present in the instruction. And here this will have no memory access. So we are just simply accessing the register to get the operand, and there is no memory access, and hence it gives a fast execution. But since the number of registers is very limited, we can access only, we can have access to a range of very limited address space. But when we have multiple registers, that may improve the performance. So in the example also we can see that operand 1 is present in register R4 and operand 2 is present in R3. So directly we can move to the register R3 and R4 to access the operand 1 and operand 2. The next addressing mode is register indirect addressing. So here if we look into this diagram, the instruction field, instruction format, it contains a address field which is having the address of a register. So when we go and access that particular register, so we'll get another address. So that address points to a memory location where we'll get the operand. So here it is the effective address can be calculated using EA is equal to R within the parenthesis. So that means register R contains an address. So you go and look into that particular address where you will find another address. So the content of that address will give you the actual operand. So operand is in memory cell pointed to by contents of the register R. So this again could accommodate a larger address space. So in main memory location we have several locations. So to point out to any memory location, this kind of indirect addressing will help you to point out to a location that is having a bigger address. So only fewer memory access than the indirect addressing, because initially we are pointing to a register and then from there we are pointing to the memory. So here only fewer memory access than the indirect addressing. So the first fetching is from the register and then followed by the memory access. The next addressing mode is displacement addressing. Here this displacement addressing, it combines the capabilities of direct addressing and register indirect addressing. So if you could see here in the instruction format, we have two values for the address field. One contains a register value and another address. So here the one of the value, either the register may contain a displacement value or we can call it as a base value, which is normally an integer value, and another will contain an address. So this may happen vice versa, any one may contain the displacement and another may contain the address value. So here the effective address will be we find the address value, we take the address and we move on to that address to find the value present there, and also we will add the base value or the displacement value given to find the effective address. That will give you the final operand. So here it is having two values, register and address. So one of the value will be having the address and another will be having a displacement value, which is an integer value. When we add that two values, that will give you an address which contains the actual operand. So this relative addressing, it is one of the version of this displacement addressing what we have discussed. So here the R contains the program counter. So we know that the program counter contains the next instruction, address of the next instruction to be executed. So the PC inside the parenthesis says that content of that register, and so content of that address plus the displacement value. So that will give you the actual address where your operand is present. So that means get operand from A cells from the current location. That means A gives you a displacement value or an base value. So from the current location pointed to by PC. So the program counter contains an address. So from that address you displace or move this many locations or this many cells that is given in the A, and then at that location we get the actual operand. The next one, base register addressing. This is also a kind of this relative addressing, and here in the previous thing we have seen that R register contains the program counter value. So program counter usually contains a address. So here the R contains a main memory address, and the A register, A contains the displacement value or the base value. So by adding these two values, the main memory address that is present in the register R and the displacement value, we will be getting the actual address, that is the effective address. We can see in the diagram. So in the address we are having a displacement value as 100, and the register, it contains a main memory address that is 400. So these two values were added and we get an effective address as 500. So that is the actual address where the operand is present in the memory. The 42 value is present in the address 500, that is calculated using these two, by adding these two address, main memory address and the displacement value. The next one is indexed addressing. Indexed addressing is basically the opposite of base register addressing. What we have seen in base register addressing, there the address field contains the displacement value and the register contains the main memory address. So here it is just the opposite. The register contains the displacement value or the base value, that is an integer value, and the address field contains a main memory address. So again by adding these two values we will get the actual address or the effective address, and usually this indexed addressing is useful in accessing the arrays. For example, we have a list of numbers we want to store starting from a particular location. So this after storing this values starting from one location, for example from address 1000 we have a list of numbers in the memory. So when we want to access it, it is enough that we can add the, so from 1000 the next value will be in 1001, 1002, that so like that. So with having this kind of indexing, this can be easily done. So first we have to have the value in the we have to have the main address, okay, the address 1000 that is having the first value of the list, first number in the list will be present in the address 1000, okay. So that address is present in A. Now as we keep increasing only the R value or the displacement value, we will be able to access any value from the list easily. So for this this kind of indexed addressing will be useful. Finally we have the stack addressing mode. So it's very simple. The operand is present on the top of the stack. So whenever we want to access the operand, we just pop out the element that is present on the top of the stack. For example, if the operation is add, then we need to have two operands. So we can simply pop two items from the stack and we can just add it. So it's very simple. So with this we have seen all the addressing modes and how they work. With all these addressing modes we will be able to access the operands efficiently to do the operation that is required to be done by the CPU.